Code raiding. One of the biggest trends in Rust history that involves standing outside of someone's base and continuously typing codes on someone's door, dying over and over again, until finally, they hear this sound. Code raiding in Rust has become a trend on YouTube, garnering tens of millions of views. But who originated one of the biggest movements in this game's history? Well, if we go to YouTube and sort by most popular, we get Yexum's 12 million viewed short, then Zchum's 5 million viewed video, and Mimio's 3 million viewed video. But none of these creators started code raiding. It was actually a creator named Kyoko who only has 31,000 subscribers. And little did he know his 1.2 million viewed video would start one of the biggest trends in Rust.
I got it! I got the goal!
Oh my god!
Oh my god, we did it!
Oh my god, I got it.
I got him! I actually got him! I got him!
Whoa! We got it! We got it! We got it!
In Rust, 90% of bases have a code lock, and these code locks have a 4-digit code. And Kyoko realized there's only 10,000 possible codes, but if you enter every possible one, eventually you'd unlock that door. So Kyoko did a deep dive on the Rust subreddit and found an undercover community of code raiders.
The next morning, I woke to a message in my Reddit inbox in response to my post with an invite to a private code raiding Discord, the message ending with,
"Not many of us code raiders out there."
Joining this Discord, it was exactly what I was looking for.
Welcome to Code Crackers. The goal is to raid bases with one resource: time.
It was a Discord of only 14 members because no one was crazy enough to spend hours dying over and over trying to guess someone's base code. But Kyoko was welcomed into this community and was given a spreadsheet of the most commonly used codes, because most Rust players have super guessable codes and tend to type a pattern as their code. For example, the square pattern, or the 4-corner pattern, or if you're one of those guys, you just type 6969. And so Kyoko's journey began, where in this video he successfully code raided 3 different bases and uploaded the very first code raiding video to YouTube. And this would be the start of the massive code raiding trend.
Code raiding in Rust.
10,000 different possible combinations.
Is 10,000.
It first started with Zchum, Mimio, and Yexum, and then Confusion milked another 5 videos. It seemed like every Rust YouTuber and their mother was uploading a code raiding video. Kyoko only had a couple thousand subscribers at the time of posting his video, but it was such a unique and perfectly crafted video, it blew up his channel, and everyone wanted to try code raiding for themselves. Now, at first you might ask, why would anyone want to torture themselves to hours of just mindlessly typing codes all day? But in a way, it was like gambling. Time was your currency, and if you were patient enough, eventually your big win would hit and all the loot inside that base would be yours. These players were chasing that feeling of hitting the 0.01% chance of unlocking that door. And because all these videos were gaining millions of views, it translated to thousands of players code raiding on every server, and everyone was getting their bases code raided, losing days or even weeks of progress. This movement was creating drama within the Rust community. YouTubers like Tesla took it to Twitter saying, "Yeah, just had some guys guess my codes all night while I slept and code raided me." And many other tweets voicing frustrations about being code raided. Meanwhile, on the other side, creators like Confusion making tweets showing how profitable this strategy was, and many other code raiding enthusiasts who enjoyed this new playstyle in Rust. And that's exactly what it was, a new playstyle. Some of you might disagree with that, but that's what Rust is, an open world survival game where there's hundreds of ways of playing. Nowadays, you can be a farmer, PvPer, beekeeper, fisher, or baker. Code raiding was just another playstyle added to this game. Half of the player base argued you shouldn't be able to take hours of progress away from someone just mindlessly typing codes all day until they got the right one. But the other half of the player base argued you should be able to, because if you're willing to be that dedicated, you deserve the reward. You either supported code raiding or were against it. But then, Facepunch added a change that would kill code raiding forever.
But on the 30th of November 2021, all of this changed.
Code raiding was gone. Word spread fast of its untimely demise.
Code raiding had finally been patched.
Helk, one of the main developers in Rust, stepped in to eliminate code raiding. Now when you try to code raid, it literally locks the door on the 8th attempt for 15 minutes, which was a tremendous nerf because, as mentioned in Kyoko's video,
The goal is to raid bases with one resource: time.
Now, at this point, Kyoko, the founder of code raiding, had vanished and hadn't posted in years. So I interviewed the next prominent member of the code raiding community, Confusion.
No, but like everybody thought that like
you wouldn't be able to like code rate anymore after that, you know? It's like they kind of, FacePunch kind of just killed it because too many people were like complaining.
Confusion was the biggest code rating YouTuber at the time. He was also innovating this strategy by hiring an army of code raters or making a custom Discord bot to help with code rating. With Kyoko gone, the code rating community now looked to Confusion. How did you and the rest of the code rating community feel when that like all happened?
Yeah, they reacted pretty negatively. Everybody thought basically that like code rating was like dead after that update, you know?
Code rating was officially dead, and when Helk made that official tweet, there were mixed feelings amongst the community. Kinda took the L on this one, Helk. I'm kinda sad I won't get to watch code rating videos anymore. Bruh, really? This is a massive L for Rust as a whole. But at the same time, there were many other creators who were defending this change. Like I said, the community was split, but in the end, the code raters had lost. At least that's what we thought. So that's how it ended. Code rating was dead?
Nope.
Code rating wasn't dead. Confusion went on to upload one of his biggest code rating videos doing 1.3 million views, showing that code rating was still possible. And all of a sudden, YouTubers began posting code rating again.
Okay, we are on a mission today to code raid some bases.
We're gonna be trying to code raid this massive plan.
FacePunch has tried to patch this problem, however, there's still ways around it.
I figured out a way to be able to still code raid while it was quote unquote patched. If you find like a compound with more than like 2 to 3 doors on it, you can still code raid it, because how it works is that when you enter a code on a single door, 6 or more codes on it, the door itself locks down for 10 minutes. After you die, you switch doors and you start entering on the second door, and then you put that second door on cooldown, and then you start entering on the third door.
The code rating community was so back. There were players commenting things like, the only way that code rating will vanish is to remove code locks from existence. This update was actually a huge nerf to Rust clans, because once the door was locked for 15 minutes, you could just target the other doors and keep cycling between all the doors. Everyone always complains about how clans keep getting buffed with every Rust update, but this was the one change that actually helped solos and smaller bases. The code rating community was so hyped it was back, and the endless amount of code rating videos were being uploaded to YouTube. There was finally peace at last. The code rating war was over, and FacePunch didn't launch a counter update to remove the workaround for code rating. They let it stay in the game. I mean, to be fair, code rating is still extremely difficult with the lockdown feature. However, it's still possible for the extremely dedicated players. And honestly, I don't think it was FacePunch's intention to kill code rating. They understood it was a new market and a new player base, and removing code rating as a whole would damage the community. And to this day, we still see code rating videos from many YouTubers, and they still get really good views. Kyoko was the founder of code rating, who started one of the biggest trends in Rust, and Confusion was the one who innovated code rating and spread awareness that it is still possible to this day.